this life. But don't be like that. Don't waste your life. Huh? Don't spend your time on trivia. Huh? But engage everything that you have, in whatever condition of life you are, in Krishna's service. And that will give the highest benediction, the highest result. So invest your time and your energy and your possessions and your relationships and everything that you have available in Krishna's service, and you won't be a loser. I can promise that. And I'm the example. I'm just an ordinary person. But somehow or other, I engaged in this process my whole life. And as a result, now at the end of the life, I'm feeling very successful, very relaxed. I'm really happy. And I'm happy that I made this decision a long time ago. I have no regrets, even though there were difficulties. I mean, there were really, really severe difficulties at times. But by Krishna's mercy, all those difficulties, one by one, were surmounted. So you can also conquer over the difficulties of life. Krishna gives this knowledge in the scriptures. And if you find a bona fide spiritual master, that should be the highest priority in your life. To serve and satisfy your spiritual master. If he's a bona fide spiritual master, he's not going to exploit you. He's not going to cheat you. But he's going to guide you to the highest perfection. So this is the real purpose of human life. And this is the knowledge of the esoteric teaching. Hare Krishna. So, are there any questions? Give the mic, please.
It's more hello, Hare Krishna. Oh, okay. It's more a comment, question, comment. The word dhira means sober. And then it's very interesting to see words like dhira lalita, which seem completely opposite. It's like sober, funny sober, or things like that. Yeah. And this is one of the things I learned in a dream, actually, where I had a spiritual dream, and I experienced this kind of feeling which seems to be opposite. It's very hard to explain. And it's amazing that Sanskrit has the words for that.
Well, it's like we put in sweet rice, we put a little black pepper. So sometimes opposite things, or in Chinese food you have sweet and sour sauce. Some people really like it, like kanai. So, noodles with sweet and sour sauce, oh boy, a little dash of mustard. So when we encounter these things in Krishna consciousness, we have to understand them by analysis of rasa. That's why we're studying this rasa tattva. There's a wonderful verse that the sweetness of Krishna's holy name is sweeter than the sweetest mango. But at the same time, this holy name, the effect of the holy name, defeats the fresh and severe poison of the snake. So this is contradictory. Seems contradictory. How is it? How is it possible, that to compare the holy name and the effect of the holy simultaneously with the sweetest mango and with the snake bite? You say, well, you just have to experience it, and then you know that on the one hand you feel stunned, and you feel like you can't express the feeling that you have. It's so great and so absolutely transcendental to anything that you have ever experienced before. Oh, we had a nice conversation about this during the feast. We started talking about what is really the meaning of the word transcendental. Remember? And basically we were saying that the meaning of transcendental is when something has a higher number of dimensions than the things that make it up. Right? It's like sometimes, you know, people take paper. There's a whole art form called papercraft, where people take paper, which is basically two-dimensional, right? And they fold it in different ways and they put it together and they make models and stuff out of it. And some of these are quite ingenious, like origami and like that. But the idea is paper is simply two-dimensional, but because it's put into a certain form, it assumes three-dimensional shape. Right? This is a very crude example. But in devotional service, we have the experience that simply chanting a mantra, which is a verbal formulation that can be understood by anybody, even a child can chant the mantra very easily. Yet, this simple chanting process leads to the most exalted states and the most refined knowledge and the deepest insights into reality and consciousness. How is this possible? It seems contradictory. You know, seems like we should be in a laboratory with white coats and a big blackboard with formulas scrawled all over it if we're going to do that kind of thing. You know, but actually all that's necessary is, you know, oops, I don't have my beads on, is some chanting beads and a little mantra made of 3 words. But this 3 business is very, very profound, because this is the key to ontology. See? If you understand that every ontological entity has 3 parts: the subject, the object, and the relationship, or the category, the substance, and the quality, or in terms of consciousness, the subjective, the objective, and the perception, and so on and so on and so on. You'll find that every object that has real existence, like the soul or Krishna or any spiritual experience or like that, will have these same 3. Like the sentence has a subject, an object, and a verb. It's not an accident. It has to do with the nature of reality. See, at some very, very deep level, the nature of reality is triune. You see? It has 3 aspects, and these 3 aspects multiply fractally throughout the whole reality. Therefore, Krishna is sometimes called Trinath. That's one of his names. The Lord of Threes, or the Lord of this triple nature. In fact, even in the science of ontology itself, every ontological entity is called a triple. So if you have a database of ontological facts, ontological objects, it's called a triple store. These are common terms in ontology as it's applied, especially in computer science. So we can understand that the reality itself has this triple structure embedded very deeply within it. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So you can find so many instances of this. Krishna has his internal potency, his external potency, and his marginal potency. And they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Jiva souls, and the material energy, respectively. So all these triples you'll find again and again and again, especially in spiritual life. No accident. That's the way the reality is put together at a very, very deep level. So we should look into this reality very deeply and find this structure, because this is the structure of Krishna himself, the Tribhanga, threefold bending form of Krishna. And then we find that he's also called Triyuga, that he appears in 3 yugas, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he appears in the fourth yuga, Kali Yuga, in a covered form, Lord Chaitanya. You know, and on and on and on. Lord Shiva has, his trident has 3, what is it, blades or whatever they're called. Prongs, good. And on and on and on and on. You'll find this. So if we understand all these things, then nothing becomes contradictory anymore. Because we can understand that whenever we put something into the proper context, it's either part of the subject, the object, or the verb. It's either part of the doer, or the object that is being done to, or the process that's being applied to it. In everything and everywhere that we look, that we have these 3 ontological distinctions. So